Yeah. I know. I'm a little late today, but it was because I had to take care of some business that I forgot to do yesterday regarding my stream yesterday. Yes, if you were watching live, yes, you saw a flash of vagina that I probably didn't realize something was happening on the screen due to the nature of Twitter, because you just never know what you're going to get on Twitter, and that's what we got. So I just cut that out of the stream from yesterday. So if you didn't watch it, too late, you lose. Other than that, I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared. But we're still going to do the show today. We're still going to do the show. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. And stop the music. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Night Live on this lovely February 18th, 2020. And I'm just curious. Oh, wait, let me turn the music back on here. Let's see if it's about the right volume. It's kind of mellow today, but because I just feel a little mellow because sometimes when you're yes, I saw that tweet, Maddie. It's time for appropriator of Cuban lateness culture. That's kind of equatorial lateness culture, because I realized as I've been traveling that lateness culture is always in hot climates. And I think it's because in hot climates, nobody wants to be in a hurry. It's too damn hot. So I noticed that when I was in Mexico. I noticed it when I was in Nigeria. I hear that's kind of like that in India. It's anywhere it's hot. People are like, you know what? This moving fast shit just don't work for me. So anyway, like I said, it's I'm a little late today. I have some stories though. I really do, and a little bit about yesterday. We had a new guest yesterday named Rick. And Rick was an interesting fellow. Rick just wanted to come in and shout at the wind and complain about Trump. And he just liked to do it in all caps. And I was thinking about it overnight, and I'm like, you know what? I don't mind if we have a Rick every once in a while. In fact, that's my very first chat troll. And the thing about chat trolls, I don't necessarily want to encourage them, but I also don't want to, be that guy who just automatically bans them. However, if we have chat trolls in the future, it's particularly the all caps, completely off the subject chat trolls, I'm going to ask those people to, if they're going to be here, I don't mind if they, say what they want. I don't care if they're going to troll a little bit, but at least stay on topic. Apparently, whoa, what is that sound? Oh, that's the music. Like, what is that noise? But I do want them to stay on topic about what we're talking about, because Rick just wanted to make lots of Trump bashing statements, which I don't care. You all know me. I am not sensitive about Donald Trump. I'm not. I don't. I think and for the most part, I support the president, but I'm not one of those. I'm not a guy who's going to throw on a MAGA hat. So if you don't like Trump, that's your business, dude. I don't care. In fact, I don't mind having people who don't agree with everything we do here. That's more the merrier. I'd love to have some what do you call it? I would love to have a lively discussion in the chat about things. So anyway, mods, you can use your discretion. And even if you're not on the mod side of things, just if there's another Rick in the chat and I don't notice it, go ahead and just get my attention at me in the chat, and I'll we'll kind of deal with that together. Anyway, let's say good morning to everyone who's here. First of all, Della Hazed. Dell was here first, gets the bell. Good morning, Dell. Good morning, Advocatus Diaboli, Cynical Lindsay, Chicago Mike, Johnny Hellcat, Paul Farrell, Peter Allman, Quinn the Cultist, Maddie, using the MWM Media tag today. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. Check Your Logic, Zero the Hero, Dumb Beard, and I think Duck Dog. Good morning, RVA, Pincalo, and did I say Peter Allman? I hope I didn't miss you, Peter Allman. Anyway, and just a reminder, please, if you're while you're here, make sure you hit the like button if you like what we're doing, or Duck Dog, you know what you can do. And also share the stream out. If you don't follow me on Twitter, right down there it says Twitter Minds and Gabs at PDawg Night. Retweet what you got, or hit the share arrow down below. You can use a couple clicks to share this out. I'm just 10 subscribers short of 600. So we gained another 100, almost another 100 subscribers in the last month or so. It hasn't been that long since I did the 500 subscriber show. And that's thanks to you guys for sharing the stream out and reminding people that we're here. Also, if you want to do Super Chats, be a permanent part of the show, you can do that in the Streamlabs link in the description down below. Actually, this right here, that PDawgNight.live, that's where you can do it too. It'll now, it says in the stream, in the chat, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donation and have your Super Chats read live on the show. Click there. So that takes you to PDawg Night Live, and then up in the corner it'll take you where you can oh, good morning Prospero too, and Becca Farley, who, okay, now you're down there. Anyway, so and Lamented Guide, what's happening? You'll be lurking today. Okay, Becca, good. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad Becca and I had a short conversation outside of there, just making sure that Rick wasn't being too much of an asswipe, which he kind of was anyway. But okay, so we're all good. So now I'm going to start off with a couple stories that were sent to me, unless they go to language that could get the creator in trouble. Yeah, if they start doing that shit, then definitely. Definitely put the yeet at least on the comment, or time them out or whatever, and we'll have a chat with them. So I got a couple stories sent to me by GunFox61 that I'm going to start with, and then we'll get into kind of my normal stuff. Good morning, Kessler. How you doing? This is weird. We've been talking a lot about Iowa lately, but mostly because of the Iowa caucuses. But this has nothing to do with the Iowa caucuses, but it's apparently there's a 16-year-old girl who starved to death in Iowa. This is a sad story, and it's kind of weird. It happened 4 years ago, and so now they're having a report on this, where Iowa's Department of Human Services ignored more than a dozen child abuse complaints before 16-year-old Natalie Finn's starvation death. Nearly 4 years after 16-year-old Iowa teen Natalie Finn's starvation death, a 160-page report published Monday blasted the State Department of Human Services for failing to investigate more than a dozen complaints of child abuse at her adopted home after she left the foster care system. Finn weighed only 81 pounds when first responders came to the home of her adoptive parents in Des Moines in October 2016. She died hours later at the hospital. Her adoptive mother, Nicole Finn, was sentenced to life in prison for first-degree murder in 2018, and her adoptive family pleaded guilty to assault and injury, KCRG reported. According to a 160-page report published by the Iowa Office of Ombudsman, Monday, 14 child abuse reports were received by the Iowa's DHS about Finn and other children in the home from neighbors, daycare workers, school staff, and others concerned for their safety. Gotta be careful with the gunbox one. Yeah, I know this one. But this is one of those. Yes, I know that. I won't read everything that people send me, but there are interesting ones. But this one, just as an adoptee, I just look at this and go, how does this happen? So the child abuse reports were received by Iowa's DHS about Finn and other children in the home from neighbors, daycare workers, school staff, and others concerned for their safety. And then the DHS failed to retain the records of the reports of the abuse over the years, giving the first 3 came between 2005 and 2009, which hindered child welfare workers' ability to detect patterns of mistreatment early on. The Ombudsman's report argued, according to the Des Moines Register. So that's a sad case. That's just a case where, government doesn't always work out for people. And so I always get worried when we're saying, okay, we want to put our health care in the hands of government. We put everything in the hands of government. They don't always do things right. Anyway, it's just a very sad story. One of the other ones is just saying that congratulations to Denny Hamlin, who wins his 3rd Daytona 500. I don't know if we necessarily needed to see that story, but there was a really nasty accident in that race. Ryan Newman. I wonder if let's see, will they have a video of that? I don't know. Yeah, his car flipped and another car flipped over, and holy shit, it went airborne. Things were on fire. But anyway, congratulations to Denny Hamlin. I'm not going to necessarily get into that article. And then the third one, this is interesting, and I wonder. I wonder how this came about. But California lawmakers are going to set to apologize for the state's role in the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II. The California lawmakers are expected to approve a resolution Thursday offering a formal apology for the state's role in the internment of 120,000 Japanese Americans during World War II. Democratic Assemblyman Al Muratsuchi, who was born in Japan and is one of roughly 430,000 people of Japanese descent living in California, introduced the resolution. I introduced H.R. 77, an official apology by the Assembly for legislation actions that led to the incarceration of Japanese Americans during World War II. I will be introducing the H.R. House resolution on February 20th as part of the annual Day of Remembrance celebrations. So yeah, he says, we like to talk about how we lead the nation by example. He said, unfortunately, in this case, California led the racist anti-Japanese American movement. President Roosevelt's Executive Order number 9066 establishing the camps was signed on February 19th, 1942, and February 19th is now marked by Japanese Americans as a day of remembrance. So, appropriate. I guess I don't have anything other to say than that, but yeah, they had 2 camps that were located in the state, Manzanar on the east side of the Sierra Nevada in central California, and Tule Lake near the Oregon state line, the largest of all the camps. And Maritsuchi says, I want the California legislature to officially acknowledge and apologize while these camp survivors are still alive. Just one of those things in our history where you go, you don't want that to happen. I wish maybe the Democratic Party will have a resolution apologizing for slavery and Jim Crow. I mean, they bought it. Hey, even if they say the party switch, hey, if you buy a company with debt, you owe the debt. So Democrats must pay. There we go. Anyway, I don't know what made me think of that. Anyway, all right, let's get into some of the stories that I had actually planned on looking at today. Apparently, oh, by the way, good morning to Patrice Ripley, Keenan Kessler, and Mitch the Ripper. Welcome to the show. Okay, so let's get into some of my stories today, because I know I have some. They're here somewhere. Let's see, PDawg Night. Did you hear Hard Bastard talking about the olive oil riots with the turned Italian. No, I did not see that. I did not listen to Hard Bastard last night. But I'll have to check that out. So apparently, Alan Dershowitz has proof that President Obama ordered an investigation at the request of George Soros. Interesting. With the Italians. No, I did not notice that. MC! And my damn board still is not working. Anyway, good morning, MC. It's hammer time. Harvard Law School professor emeritus Alan Dershowitz revealed in an interview on Sunday that he has proof that former Democratic President Barack Obama ordered the FBI to investigate someone after far-left billionaire George Soros asked for the investigation. Dershowitz's remarks come after critics have attacked President Donald Trump for tweeting about matters related to the Department of Justice, which led to Attorney General William Barr publicly asking the president to stop last week. There was a lot of White House control of the Justice Department during the Kennedy administration, and I don't think we saw very many liberal professors arguing against that, Dershowitz told Breitbart News. I have some information as well about the Obama administration, which disclosed in a lawsuit at some point, or which will be disclosed in a lawsuit at some point, but I'm not prepared to disclose it now, about how President Obama personally asked the FBI to investigate somebody on behalf of George Soros, who is a close ally of his. We've seen this kind of White House influence in the Justice Department virtually in every Justice Department, Dershowitz continued. Well, yeah, duh. You don't think that Obama had a role in keeping Hillary Clinton out of the courtroom during the so-called email scandal, which is really it's actually a classified information scandal. You don't think that little that Loretta Lynch wasn't actually following Obama's orders not to prosecute Hillary Clinton? Find a way not to prosecute her, because I've never heard of a person who got caught red-handed handling classified information that didn't go to prison. Just never have. I'm sorry. And the fact that she had some of her classified information from her State Department fake server in her basement, not State Department, but her personal server in her basement, transferred to the laptop of a convicted sex offender. Could you imagine? Or imagine this, okay? So let's say that Roger Stone, for example, Roger Stone, who has been convicted of lying to Congress, whatever he got convicted of, that should be, a 3 to 4 year sentence, but they want 9 years. Imagine if the Justice Department had subpoenaed his email communications from, let's say January 20th, 2017 to December 31st, 2019. And Roger Stone said, well, you know what? Yes, you can see, I'm going to give you all my email communications, but I'm just going to delete about, let's say half of them, because they're really none of your business. Do you think... Sandy Berger? Oh, Sandy, yeah, you're true. Okay, Sandy Berger. Well, okay, think about Sandy Berger. Sandy Berger. I can't remember whose administration was Sandy Berger in. Sandy Berger. Samuel Richard Sandy Berger was a political consultant who served as the United States National Security Advisor for President Bill Clinton. Oh my God! Yes, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Have you heard of any civilians, citizens, military people, or non-Democrats in government who haven't been prosecuted for mishandling classified information? I'm sorry, I needed to clarify that. Thank you, MC, for that reminder. I forgot all about Sandy Berger. Yeah, so anyway. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, we've seen this kind of White House influence on the Justice Department virtually in every Justice Department. Dershowitz continue. The difference, this president is much more overt about it. He tweets about it. President Obama whispered to the Justice Department about it. You said that, now the Breitbart News pressed on, you said that George Soros asked Barack Obama to have his Justice Department investigate somebody? That's going to come out in a lawsuit in the near future. Yeah. Dershowitz responded, I have in my possession the actual 302 form which documents the issue, and it will at the right time come out. But I'm not free to disclose it now because it's a case that's not yet been filed. All right, so Dershowitz is foreshadowing, that would be called foreshadowing, a future case that may come up. Anyway, very interesting. What else we got here? So the so we've already heard about the 1,100 former federal prosecutors who signed a letter to condemn Attorney General William Barr and encourage the Justice Department employees to tattle on the nation's top lawman if they see anything naughty. This is from an article in American Greatness. The lawmakers were outraged at Barr's decision to override line prosecutors, including 2 holdovers from the Robert Mueller investigation, who had recommended an excessive sentence against Roger Stone. Barr's action in doing the president's personal bidding, unfortunately, speaks louder than his words, they wrote. Those actions and the damage they have done to the Department of Justice reputation for integrity and the rule of law. Give me a break. Require Mr. Barr to resign, these lawyers said. Times reporter Kate Brenner, trying to make the stunt look like a legitimate grassroots effort, attributed the letter to a group called Protect Democracy, which she described as a non-profit legal group. But to Protect Democracy is not an organic activist group spontaneously created by high-minded legal experts alarmed by Trump's alleged flouting of the law. Protect Democracy was launched in early 2017 as part of an extensive anti-Trump operation managed by left-wing tech billionaire Pierre Omidyar, the founder of eBay. This is who's behind Protect Democracy, and the number of nonprofits formed to destroy the president. In 2018, according to the group's most recent tax filing, Protect Democracy collected nearly $7 million in donations. Omidyar's most politically active nonprofit, Democracy Fund, also donated $2 million since 2017. Democracy Fund is spending tens of millions each year to underwrite dozens of anti-Trump projects. Over the past 2 years, I've seen an alarming and sometimes unprecedented violations of our country's democratic norms, Joe Goldman, the fund's president, wrote in 2018. Protect Democracy houses a number of former Democratic staffers, including a former U.S. aide to U.S. Representative Adam Schiff, shocker, and Obama White House alum Rick Seidman, last seen advising Christine Blasey Ford, is a director for Protect Democracy. So, that's hilarious. So a former aide to Adam Schiff is part of this group, and someone who advises Christine Blasey. Oh, look there. Isn't that... what's the dude? Who's the bald-headed guy that ran for president? That Cory Booker. Isn't that Cory Booker's girlfriend? How'd she get in this? How'd she get in this page? Several Never Trumpers are also involved with Protect Democracy. National Review columnist Mona Sharon and Linda Chavez, ABC News pundit Matthew Dowd, and failed presidential candidate Evan. Oh my God! This is a who of Never Trumpers. Evan McMullen. It's funny because back in the 2016 election, I was one of those Never Trumpers. Remember that? I've told you that more than once. And the problem is, I was seriously considering Evan McMullen as a candidate until he started tweeting. And the more he tweeted, the more I went, wait a minute, this guy's a nut. So no, I'm not a fan of Evan McMullin at all, and that's why I voted for the Sweet Meteor Death in 2016. But that's going to change in 2020. Good morning, Gunfox. I thank you for the stories you sent me this morning. We did just touch on the 3 that you sent me, and you might have missed that. So anyway, you're heading off to work. Just stopping by. Did the news trigger you? No, the news hasn't triggered me. Anyway, so this no shocker that this group called what are they called again? The lawyers, the 1,100 former federal prosecutors. What the hell are they called again? Protect Democracy. No shocker that Protect Democracy is just a wildly anti-Trump group. Just shocker, right? Never Trumpers. I'll go Team Clinton. Yeah, no, I was a Never Trump, Never Clinton too. I changed my thing. Yes, Gunfox, I've been in my email and we'll work on the whatchamacallit. Ryan Newman is alive. I don't know what that means. Anyway, the other thing. This one is pretty interesting. Apparently, now we know also that the FBI used a briefing with Trump and Flynn to gather evidence for Crossfire Hurricane operation. This is a Breitbart story. The FBI under James Comey underhandedly sent a senior member of the team investigating alleged collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign to conduct a standard official FBI security briefing for presidential campaigns with then-candidate Donald Trump and his then National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn. Unbeknownst to both Trump and Flynn, that FBI investigator memorializing that briefing, which included exchanges with Flynn and Trump in an official document that was added to the Crossfire Hurricane case file, probing the Trump campaign over unsubstantiated and ultimately discredited charges of Russian collusion. The FBI file documenting the August 2016 briefing describes 2 questions asked by candidate Trump, as well as comments from Trump and Flynn and exchanges with the briefer from the FBI who was not identified to either Trump or Flynn during the briefing as working on the Crossfire Hurricane team probing Flynn and other members of the Trump campaign. So what this means is, remember when they said that they weren't investigating Trump himself? And yet they still had some people in there asking questions that they did as opposing as, I don't know, people who were supposedly giving a national security briefing, but they were actually collecting information. Anyway, James Baker, the former FBI general counsel, conceded that the briefer was there on the off chance that somebody said something that might be useful. I could have sworn they've said all along that that wasn't the case here. This means that the FBI's controversial Crossfire Hurricane probe team investigating members of the Trump campaign not only directly interfaced with Trump and Flynn without telling them, but also recorded their comments in the official case file. Flynn at the time was already a target of the FBI probe. Moreover, the FBI investigator who conducted the briefing says that he used the occasion as an opportunity to study Flynn's behavior and mannerisms just in case the FBI needed to eventually conduct a subject interview of Flynn. Indeed, the same investigator himself was the FBI agent who conducted an in-person FBI interview with Flynn on January 24th, 2017 in connection with the FBI's investigation of Flynn. All those details and more were contained deep inside the Justice Department's previously released 476-page Inspector General report on the FBI Russian collusion investigation. So, shocker, they lied, and they were actually investigating long before they said they were. I'll just put there's the article in the chat if you want to read the rest of it. There's a lot more to it. But I'm not going to go through it any more than that for now. Let's see here. Let's see. DOJ Furr, latest attempt to help Democrats hide Spygate, undermine elections. You know what? This is a good point. So all this nonsense regarding the Justice Department pulling back on the recommendation for Roger Stone, it's a smokescreen, and I've thought this immediately when they started doing that. They know that right now there's not only one, but now there's two investigators who are looking into, one, how the Crossfire Hurricane investigation was handled, which we know that there's plenty of intrigue and lies and skullduggery involved in that. And it's going to come out. And then there's a second investigation now looking into the case of Michael Flynn. And how do I want to put this? The Democrats who know that it's their turn to be investigated. The meme yesterday was perfect. Hello, Sean. How you doing? The meme yesterday is perfect. I thought Democrats loved investigations. Well, guess what? Now we're investigating your guys' role in all this bullshit. And it's going to be interesting to see how this comes out. There are certainly... the idea that Andrew McCabe was just his whole thing was let slide, I'm not necessarily convinced that is the case. And we'll see. But anyway, DOJ's latest fervor, I don't know. I don't want to say this wrong, but anyway. Latest attempt to help Democrats hide Spygate and undermine elections. When the cockroaches are all scurrying across the floor, you can be sure that somebody shone a light on their nests. Let's see. Another spin operation appears to be afoot to thwart Attorney General William Barr's investigation into the Russian collusion hoax and others perpetrated by high-ranking federal bureaucrats. We talked about how many bureaucrats are basically Democratic sycophants yesterday, too. The eye of the hurricane this weekend is focused on the Department of Justice, with news Friday that an assistant U.S. attorney declined to press charges against former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe for documented lying to federal investigators under oath, which we know for sure happened. This tweet from Buck Sexton: if the libs like you, and especially if you hate Trump, the law does not apply. Was true for Hillary, and now we see it's true for Andrew McCabe. This makes a mockery of our legal system and divides the country in irreparable ways. You know what? If you want to talk double standards, that's right where we are. So that's the letter that told Andrew McCabe that they're not going to press charges right now on those particular, I don't know about crimes or whatever, that particular issue where it's documented that you lied. And President Trump's not happy about it, of course. Trump says IG reported Andrew McCabe misled investigators over role in news media disclosure, lacked candor, lied on 4 separate occasions, authorized media leaks to advance personal interests. IG recommended McCabe's firing. And that's, McCabe being fired? That was the right call. But anyway, Beckett Adams explains, in 2016, McCabe, who is now a paid CNN contributor,
wow,
leaked sensitive details of the Bureau's investigation of the Clinton Foundation to the press. He then misled members of the FBI's inspection division when they interviewed him about the leaks, according to a February 2018 Justice Department Inspector General report. McCabe provided investigators with 4 misleading statements, 3 of which were while he was under oath. Misleading means he lied. Giving false statements to federal investigators is a crime. A crime that... Who's that guy? What's it? Roger something? Roger Rock? Roger Pebble? Roger Stone. Yeah, he's the one who's getting sentenced pretty soon. In fact, it is the same crime for which the Justice Department went after President Trump's disgraced former national security advisor, Lieutenant Michael Flynn. Him too. Him too. Hello, Seamus Derby. On Friday, news broke that Barr has appointed the top federal prosecutor in St. Louis to review the criminal case against Michael Flynn, former national security advisor to President Donald Trump, according to Reuters. This all occurred in the same week, and assistant U.S. attorney recommended up to 9 years in prison for former Trump campaign associate Roger Stone on the grounds that he lied about gossiping about what WikiLeaks knew about the Hillary Clinton's emails. Because everyone knew that WikiLeaks was coming out with something because WikiLeaks told us so. Anyway, so it appears... Oh, I was going to say, what happened to my music? So it appears that McCabe is allowed to lie to federal investigators about corruption affecting the U.S. government, cover it up with more lies, and get off scot-free, even though what he did is a crime. While Stone faces years in prison for lying about gossip that affected nothing of public importance. Flynn appears to have been entrapped by the FBI agents into possibly contradicting himself while unaware that was the situation, and now faces possible prison time, to say nothing of years of legal harassment, plus potential threats by prosecutors against his son. Andrew McCarthy points out the same double standard is applied to the political prosecution of former Trump campaign associate George Papadopoulos, who was convicted of making a trivial false statement about the date of a meeting. He went to prison for a whole 2 weeks. CNN's Aaron Burnett made a big deal Friday out of a federal judge saying last September that politicized decisions about whom federal lawyers prosecute are the stuff of Banana Republic. Start peeling your banana. She attempted to apply that description to the Trump Justice Department's revisions to its prison time request for Stone. Yet, it far better applies to unelected career bureaucrats' use of their power to prosecute their political enemies, which comprises the heart of the resistance to Republican rule that will endure so long as bureaucracy has enough power to challenge elected branches of government. This bureaucracy weaponization was also the hallmark of Obama's presidency, with, irony of ironies, perhaps the biggest evidences again coming from the Department of Justice under Attorney Generals Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch. Remember them? The people who held tarmac meetings with Bill Clinton about hiding Hillary's email scandals, oversaw the Internal Revenue Service's persecution of conservative grassroots clubs, and refused to enforce immigration laws at the behest of the president? Yeah, those guys. Now the chest thumpers in the media are coming to obscure this weaponization of bureaucracy by attacking Trump's frustration over the outrageous and corrupt double standard of an executive branch federal agency which he is supposed to control through appointing its leaders. On Sunday, more than 1,000 former U.S. Justice Department officials on Sunday, well, we know where those came from, called for the Attorney General William Barr to resign for directing the department he ostensibly controls to reduce its requested prison sentence for Stone. On Friday, coinciding directly with the announcement of McCabe's effective federal pardon, Sally Yates, of all people, was published in the Washington Post, accusing Trump of treating justice as his personal grudge squad. Yes, the Deputy Attorney General who helped the Obama administration set up Flynn as an early fall guy in the Spygate scandal is now taking to the pages of the Washington Post to wax poetic about DOJ's duty to provide impartial justice and perform as a neutral zone that provides justice without fear or favor. Irony of ironies. Agreed. Sally Yates, of all people. Of all people. And oh my God. Does anyone remember? I know it was so long ago. There was an attorney general named Eric Holder. Eric Holder, remember him? And Eric Holder not only found a way to sell guns and get guns taken across the border that happened to be at the scene of a dead border agent, and somehow just remained unscathed from that scandal, even though, well, of course, when the department you're working in is 90% Democrats, maybe you get a pass. But then, and then you have Loretta Lynch meeting on the tarmac with Bill Clinton, who's the husband of someone under investigation. But yes, he's a former president, so maybe they just do us a little favor, and we'll talk about grandkids and Brexit, and not getting Hillary indicted. It's just crazy. If only. Okay. Why did she, that meaning Gates, or Sally Yates, excuse me, why was Yates, according to Obama official Susan Rice, at a meeting with President Obama about the administration's investigation into the political opponent soon replacing them in the White House? Why did she run to the White House and get it on record that she believed Flynn to be in imminent danger of becoming a compromised national security liability, despite being fully aware that such compromise was impossible? If only Yates is using cynical lies to cover her behind from what everybody will learn she and the other Obama administration officials did with their power if Barr is not stopped soon. Yeah, they need to stop William Barr, because he might find out how grossly well, not even gross. What's a good word? How big of shitbags they were. Let's just use the correct terminology. When cockroaches are all scurrying across the floor, you can be sure somebody shone a light on their nest. Earlier this week, in fact, House Intelligence Committee ranking member Devin Nunes told Fox Business host Lou Dobbs that the prosecutor who resigned over the altered prison recommendation for Stone are not going to be the only example. We think there are other examples of things that they did during the Mueller investigation that I think you and your listeners and the American people will be very interested to learn in the coming weeks. And as we start to unpeel the onion of what the Mueller team was really doing, more. Then on Friday, former special counsel Robert Mueller's top pit bull, Andrew Weissmann, whom some speculate was the actual leader of the Democrats' unlimited Trump probe. Some? Okay, in the chat, real quick, I got a question for you, and it's an important question because I just, this might just tell me of people of somewhat like mind to me, what they think. If you think Robert Mueller, Robert Mueller, the Mueller probe, if you think Robert Mueller was really in charge of the Mueller investigation, press a 1 in the chat. If you think it was more likely that Andrew Weissmann and the other 18 Democrats in his investigative team were heading the Mueller probe, press 2. Mueller did the work and was leading the charge, press 1. Everybody else had their own agenda and was leading the charge, press 2. I'm just curious. Let's see here. So, okay, so anyway, then on Friday, Robert Mueller's top pit bull, Andrew Weissmann, who some speculate was the actual leader of the Democrats' unlimited Trump probe, told MSNBC host Chuck Todd that Barr's agency has opened another investigation into McCabe plus fellow FBI corruptocrats James Comey and Peter Strzok. Good. That's when, yes. They should. The real investigators are closing in on the crooked cops. No wonder they're freaking out and using their media friends to start helping them pretend all of a sudden that they care about democracy while using their powers to subvert the presidential administration Americans elected in 2016. What Barr is doing is what oversight looks like when unelected bureaucrats are called to publicly account for what they have done with the public purse, time, and trust. Once the whole truth has finally come out, Congress needs to be thinking about how they're going to make sure this never happens again. They will not do that by making the Department of Justice even less accountable to elected officials, as Democrats are demanding. They will do it by slashing and burning the bureaucracy and its powers of government. Government by the people and for the people will perish from the earth if unelected officials are capable of weaponizing government against the people's elected representatives. That's what a banana republic really is. And we do not want one here. So, and that's all I got to say about that. Yeah, the swamp, the whole thing about Trump was saying, we want to drain the swamp. I don't think he had any real clue of how deep the swamp might be. And I think it's going to be interesting to see this battle between William Barr and congressional Democrats, particularly in the Judiciary Committee. And I don't know if Schiff's committee is not going to be involved in this, but this is Jerry Nadler. Jerry Nadler's Jerry Nadler thinks he's the ruler. I gotta go back to something that I thought was hilarious. Remember in the impeachment trial, and there was going to have the closing question, and someone had a question, which was the final question of the impeachment deal, and Jerry Nadler jumped up and was going to the podium, and Adam Schiff was like, Jerry. And Jerry Nadler just went up there and gave this terrible closing anyway. I thought that was hilarious. I'm sorry. I just do. So let's just go through some quick headlines here, and then we're going to move on. Senator John Kennedy. Roger Stone's status as a chucklehead is not a criminal act. Now, Senator John Kennedy, not related to the other Kennedys, but John Kennedy from Louisiana, told CBS Face the Nation on Sunday that President Donald Trump was right to tweet about a criminal case, but just because has the right to tweet about a criminal case, but just because he can doesn't mean he should. When asked whether he agrees with President Trump that he has a legal right to intervene in criminal cases, Kennedy said, "Does the president have the right to tweet about a case? Of course. Just because you can sing, though, doesn't mean you should sing. You can have a voice like Mick Jagger, but you wouldn't want to start belting out a honky-tonk woman in church." Okay. I think the bigger part of this is he was saying something about he agrees that Roger Stone's recommended sentence was not out of turn, just excessive. I'll just use the word excessive. Good morning, Straight Sith Male. How you doing? What else? I'm just going to go through some of these headlines here. Reporter who broke Loretta Lynch's. Hang on a second. New book reveals explosive details about Loretta Lynch Bill Clinton tarmac meeting. The author of Secret on the Tarmac, revealed new details Monday about the secretly held 2016 meeting between former President Bill Clinton and Attorney General Loretta Lynch. We knew something had occurred that was a bit unusual. It was a planned meeting. Oh, now remember how they always thought this was just a coincidence that they were in the same airport? This was a planned meeting. It was not a coincidence. About the explosive meeting that cast a negative light over the FBI's investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server while she was Secretary of State. That had classified information on it. They always leave that out. At the time, then candidate Donald Trump criticized Bill Clinton via Twitter for potentially trying to interfere in the investigation. Trump tweeted at the time, "Does anybody really believe that Bill Clinton and the USAG talked only about grandkids and golf for 37 minutes in a plane on a tarmac?" Anyway, so let's see. The book Secret of the Tarmac details everything that they don't want you to know and everything they think you forgot. But Bill Clinton was on that plane for 20 minutes and it wasn't about golf, grandkids, and Brexit. There's so much that doesn't add up. He said that his source, who was there, outlined when Clinton arrived at the airport. He was waiting for Lynch. He then sat and waited in his car with the motorcade. I think her airplane. What? He sat and waited in his car with the motorcade. Okay, this is internet editing. Her air stairs come down, whatever that means. Most of her staff gets off. Her stairs come down. Most of her staff gets off. He then gets on as the Secret Service and FBI were figuring out how in the world are we supposed to handle this? What are we supposed to do? As journalists, you have to ask yourself, why are people not delving into this? Why are they not looking into exactly what happened? Signed as the guy who wrote this, said that Lynch in December 2018 testified before the House Oversight Committee. She mentioned that Bill Clinton flattered her, talked about Eric Holder, talked about how things were going at Justice, talked about her job performance, not his golf, grandkids, Brexit. Anyway, and now this guy, and of course, this reporter who broke this story is receiving death threats for even mentioning it. I'm surprised that he hasn't gotten really sad. I'm just saying. All right, what else we got? Political trials should be held outside the Beltway. That's a editorial. Oh! Nancy Pelosi's not real happy again, of course. She had a little meltdown. Not a meltdown, but Nancy Pelosi snaps and claims Trump was not acquitted in doomed effort to rewrite history. She's not. She's so bad about this impeachment nonsense. I got a feeling she might. There's a possibility she might not get reelected in her district. There's several people challenging her in her district. Okay, that's a dream. Nancy Pelosi just botched her big CNN interview with a doomed effort to rewrite history. The winners, not the losers, get to write history, as Nancy well knows from the Bill Clinton impeachment. Impeachment is not forever in our partisan times, as she demonstrated by trying to make the claim that Trump was not acquitted because there was no trial. Why else would she try to reframe the narrative if her impeachment didn't backfire? So here's her. How long is this thing? This is 40 seconds. Here's Nancy Pelosi.
But when you ask about I'm not talking about him personally. I'm just talking about his State of the Union address.
I understand. What about, though, the fact that the president seems liberated? And this is about democratic politics, so I'm not asking you to criticize here. But he was acquitted. His poll ratings are high.
There was no acquittal. You can have an acquittal unless you have a trial. And you can have a trial and you have witnesses and documents. So he can say he's acquitted, and the headlines can say acquitted. But he's impeached forever, branded with that, and not vindicated. And even the senators were saying, yes, it wasn't right. But they didn't have...
Okay, first of all, is it just me? I can't figure it out. It always sounds like she's talking with a mouthful of water. Because it always talks like this, like she's not trying not to spill the water out of her mouth. And so this sounds like this. But beyond that, Bill Clinton was impeached too, but nobody cares. He was acquitted. He finished out his presidency. It's just so weird that she loves this argument. But anyway, God, it's almost sad. It's sad. It's just sad. Everyone shed a tear for Nancy right now. Oh, I haven't seen this one though. Hang on a second. Apparently, Nancy Pelosi also wants the House to stop investigating Trump. Here's another News Thud story. Now, I don't know where News Thud's from, but they always have interesting stuff. Nancy Pelosi caves, tells Democrats to stop investigating Trump in an effort to save job as Speaker of the House. And with a whimper, Nancy Pelosi conceded defeat and is now pushing her fragile majority in the House to turn away from Trump investigations. I thought they liked investigations. I'm sorry, I thought they did. And focused on saving their jobs. Smart advice after the impeachment debacle backfired. Look, this election is going to be very close, and everything, the Senate, the House, and the presidency are up for grabs. It will come down to turnout, and Democrats face a nightmare scenario of a party split that is irreconcilable. With Bernie supporters voting for a guy like will Bernie supporters vote for a guy like Bloomberg, the exact opposite of everything they stand for? I doubt it. Will African Americans vote for a guy with a record Bloomberg has of hurting their community? I doubt it. Will moderates vote for Bernie and all that baggage? I doubt it. From the New York Times. House Democrats, recovering from their failed push to remove President Trump from office, are making a sharp pivot to talking about health care and economic issues, turning away from their investigations of the president as they focus on preserving their majority. I think that'll backfire too, because the resistance isn't going to look kindly on them stopping their investigations. I don't know how that's going to work. Anyway, top Democrats say that oversight of the president will continue, and they planned in particular to press Attorney General William P. Barr over what they say are Mr. Trump's efforts to compromise the independence of the Justice Department. But for now, at least they have shelved the idea of subpoenaing Mr. Trump's former national security advisor, who was a central figure in the president's impeachment trial. In a series of private meetings over the past week and in written instructions she distributed to lawmakers Thursday before a recess this week, Speaker Nancy Pelosi made clear that the emphasis must shift. No, I said shift, not shift. Healthcare, the Speaker said, describing the party's message during a recent closed-door meeting, according to a person in the room who insisted on anonymity to reveal private conversations. She said they had been laser focused on getting reelected. When you make a decision to win, then you have to make every decision in favor of winning. So that's hilarious, because I just got to tell you this. If they're going to talk about healthcare, do you realize that a vast majority of Americans are satisfied with their healthcare? Do they realize this? Yes, healthcare is an important topic, but a vast majority of Americans are satisfied with their healthcare, their healthcare arrangement, their health insurance, whatever. Especially and particularly people in. It's funny because do you know that there are unions right now that are not very interested in Bernie Sanders? A whole bunch of unions because Bernie Sanders wants to change a system that they've been fighting hard to make part of their union benefit. For example, I'm a member of a union. I get great health care through my union at UPS, working part-time. And it's just like, yes, healthcare. Everyone's talks about healthcare, but most people are satisfied with their healthcare. As particular people who vote. Now, granted, there are people who are like older folks who are on is it Medicare or Medicaid? Medicare, who don't want you fucking with Medicare. And do you think if suddenly we decide, oh, now it's going to be Medicare for all? Have you ever? Now, I don't know how many people are old enough in this audience to have dealt with Medicare, but we dealt with it with my father-in-law. And he had the supplemental and stuff, and it did a pretty decent job of, taking care of him, but it wasn't perfect. And I can't imagine if you flood a system like that with the rest of the country that it's going to make it better? I don't think so. I'm sorry. It's still government control of something, and it works like something in government control. Anyway, unions don't support Bernie because he will take a cut of their profits. Well, that too, that too. But man, it's crazy to me that to think that this healthcare is. Well, it's funny. People say that it's one of their top issues, and yet maybe not for the reason that the Democrats think it's one of their top issues. I don't think it doesn't seem to be a winning topic for them. Anyway, but let's see. But Jeffries said there's no discussion of trying to compel Bolton to testify. Yeah, they're not. They're. It seems as though they might be giving up on Bolton. Now they're still going to try to mess with William Barr. I think they got to find a way to damage the Trump administration. Because 3 words that I've been telling you, the 3 words that they got to damage Trump and try to find a way to get rid of him before the 2020 election, or at least make him so damaged that people won't vote for him for the 2020 election. Who can tell me what the 3 words are? Put them in the chat. Let's see who comes up with the 3 words first. All right, let's it's time to do Twitter trends. Let's get into Twitter here. By the way, real quick, thank you Paul Farrell, RVA, Tyler F, Truckin' Bear, and Arthur for President. By the way, Arthur for President, I will talk to you today. We'll chat via direct message regarding the thing that you and I were talking about. Thank you, Advocatus Diaboli. Yes, those are the 3 words. RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And MC, Becca Fairley, Maddie, and everyone else who's done that sharing. Sharing is caring. By the way, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, viewers like you. Support the show with your donations. Have your super chats read live on the show. Super chats in the link down below or in the chat, PDawgnight.live. Thank you. All right, it's time for Twitter trends. Let's see what's on the header today. Sometimes the header is just advertising for some bullshit, and sometimes it's actually interesting stuff. Today's header is, brace yourself, 2020's first Mercury retrograde is here. This is from Pop Sugar. What is a Mercury okay. I guess this is when the stars look like this. Is that what a Mercury retrograde? If any astronomy people in the chat, yes, I want to know what your sign is. No, I don't. Don't talk about astrology. Who knows what the Mercury retrograde here? Let's see. Here it is. Ready to plan for Mercury retrograde 2020. Even if you're not someone who's big on astrology, they said astrology too. You've probably heard of Mercury retrograde. Okay, let's just pull this article up because I need to know what the hell they're talking about. All right, ready to plan for Mercury retrograde 2020. Even if you're not someone who's big on, I want to say astronomy, not astrology, you've probably heard of Mercury retrograde, the period of time when the planet's position supposedly causes general confusion and upheaval in our lives. Whether you're watching the planets out of scientific interest or astrological beliefs, here's when you'll want to keep an eye on Mercury this year. Okay, that is astrology. Okay, I was joking about astronomy. It's when a Mercury appears to be moving backwards from our point of view. Okay, thank you, Prospero. According to the Almanac, Mercury will be in retrograde during 3 periods in 2020, February 17th to March 10th, June 18th to July 12th, and October 14th to November 3rd. In scientific terms, Mercury retrograde refers to the period of time when the position of Mercury appears to be moving backwards in relation to the zodiac. The planet is not, of course, actually moving in reverse, but the optical illusion of this movement is what gives Mercury its name, its apparent retrograde motion. Every year this happens 3 times, a few months apart at each time. Okay. So that explains the Mercury retrograde. I suppose you have to be following both astrology and astronomy. ASMR astrology readings with PDawg. You know, I probably could put out some ASMR videos. I just don't know. It's like, I think the voice you need for that kind of sounds like mine, doesn't it? I'm just wondering. Should I do it? I wonder, you know, it's funny because ASMR videos get a lot of views, and I've never figured out what the attraction to them are. But they're just annoying enough also for me to stop doing this right now. All right, let's get back into Twitter trends for the day. There's a couple trends that I know are here that I want to talk about anyway. But number one on Twitter trends today is, of course, the Tuesday thoughts. Now I'm scared of doing any of these freaking after yesterday. Now, if you're watching yesterday, we had a little bit of we had a brief citing of things that probably shouldn't go on YouTube, and I had to cut it out of the video from yesterday, the replay. But so if you're watching the replay from yesterday and you see this just tiny little gap where it seems like, hey, there's something missing there? Well, yes, I removed. Let's just say I removed a particular part of the anatomy from my video. But anyway, Tuesday thoughts as opposed to Tuesday thoughts. At the top, Newsbuster says, "Will Bloomberg News business ignore New York Times story on Michael Bloomberg's massive spending?" I don't. Okay. What? Well, okay. So. The New York Times put an article out on how much money Bloomberg has been spending so far, and he literally is just trying to buy the election. But that's not really fitting with the Tuesday thoughts thing, so I'm not going to go into that. Hi, Jen T. Good morning. Let's see. Newsflash: every federal judge in Angelica declared Trump and Barr's political interference an emergency. What is Angelica, Grant Stern? I don't know. Federal Judges Association calls emergency meeting after DOJ. Holy shit. This is getting out of hand. This is getting just nuts. Here's the USA Today story. Federal Judges Association calls emergency meeting after DOJ intervenes in case of Trump ally Roger Stone. Do you understand what the Justice Department actually did here? Okay, all they did, the attorneys made a recommendation. The Justice Department, who were not notified of that recommendation properly, went in and said, you know what? We're not supporting this recommendation. We're going to leave it up to the judge on the sentencing of Roger Stone. They didn't go out there and change an actual... They didn't go out there and change an actual sentencing. All they did was said, you know what? This is not what the department wants. We're going to leave it up to the judge. Leaving it up to the discretion of a judge, and these people are losing their fucking minds. A National Association of Federal Judges. I'm sure that they are National Association of Federal Judges. I'm sure they're not. There's nothing political about this group of judges whatsoever. I'm sure there's not. Anyway, the National Association of Federal Judges has called an emergency meeting Tuesday to address growing concerns about the intervention of Justice Department officials and President Donald Trump in politically sensitive cases, the group's president said Monday. Philadelphia U.S. District Judge Cynthia Roof, who heads the Independent Federal Judges Association, said the group could not wait until its spring conference to weigh in on the deepening crisis that has enveloped the Justice Department and Attorney General William Barr. There are plenty of issues that we are concerned about, Roof told the USA Today. We'll talk all through this. Roof, nominated to the bench by President George W. Bush, said the group of more than... these people. said the group of more than 1,000 federal jurists called for the meeting last week after Trump criticized prosecutors' initial sentencing recommendation. This is a fucking sentencing recommendation. It's not even the sentencing. And his friend Roger Stone in the Department of Justice overruled them. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Trump also took a swipe at the federal judge who is set to preside Stone's sentencing hearing on Thursday. Is this the judge that put Paul Manafort in solitary confinement? Something not even mobster Al Capone had to endure, Trump tweeted last week. Okay, that's what that's about. Let's keep going on Tuesday Thoughts, because I'm going to run out of time if I blow a gasket on this one.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Who needs a hunting dog anyway? Oh. This is funny. Okay, this is hilarious. This video makes me smile, and this is an actual Tuesday thought, if you ask me. So the dog. Here, I'm gonna start this over. Where'd she go? 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 I don't know where she went. I don't know. Hey, where'd she go? Wait a minute. What is that? What is that? What is that? Oh, there she is. There she is. Okay, that's funny. All right. Let's see here. Is there any good... Okay, Scott Pressler. Thank you, Michigan. Scott Pressler. Talk over voter registration earns a standing ovation at Michigan Battle Cry 2020. All right. Mrs. Krassenstein. It's never a good day without a Krassenstein. The question we must ask is, what the hell brought William Barr out of retirement, changed his entire ideology about our democracy, and made him defend Trump like he's never defended anyone before? This isn't normal for people who aren't being blackmailed. Oh, gosh. Oh, thank you, Krassenstein brothers, whichever one you are. For the good laugh this morning. Oh, and now more than 2,000 former department officials are calling for Attorney William Barr to fuck off, all of you. Good God. Trump threatens lawsuit over Mueller probe. As Judge Amy Berman Jackson conducts an emergency phone meeting with all the parties re the Stone case this AM, Trump is resorting to his oldest pattern of bullying, threatening to sue almost everyone involved in the Mueller probe. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Guess what? That's probably going to trend later today. Anyway, let's get back into the trends. Trending number 2, some K-pop shit. Skipping. Trend number 3, lose an argument in 3 words. We'll do a couple of these because these are usually kind of funny. Lose an argument in 3 words. Sinatra says with, as a vegan, oh, wear this hat. Oh, isn't that cute? Make America great again. Wear that hat. That's how you lose an argument. Lose this argument in three words. Start with irregardless, because I'm not sure if that's a word. Just mention reparations. Oh, damn, that's cold. We're doing this for your own good, so we can go forward. Puff, puff, you're hurting me. Oh, good God. Okay. Not the cartoon, but start with reparations. Are you PMSing? They made PMSing a single word. Oh, Patrice, let's see. Happy Jungwoo Day is the Korean one. Jungwoo is from K-pop band NCT 127. It is also Hobie Day for J-Hope from BTS. It is their birthday. Your hope, my hope, J-Hope. Wherever my way. Okay, thank you, my K-pop aficionado, Patrice Ribsley, for giving us some K-pop knowledge. Irregardless is not a word. Here's a way to lose an argument. I didn't vote. Agree to disagree. Sure, fine, whatever. You're an idiot. Hips to die. What? Look at this. Watch the dog. The dog is jamming. Actually, the dog's just scratching itself. All right, moving on. Enough of that one. Today is National Drink Wine Day. Alrighty then, I'm gonna move on. It is National Drink Wine Day. Drink Wine Day if you like wine. Hey, today's your day. Tuesday motivation will skip. Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts of America are filing bankruptcy. This is not good. Sad news for those who revere the Boy Scouts. But these two paragraphs outline the appalling extent of the abuse and underscore the much-deserved reckoning for lack of care of those in charge. Founded in 1910, the Boy Scouts have kept confidential files since the 1920s, listing staff and volunteers implicated in sexual abuse for the avowed purpose of keeping predators away from youth. According to a court deposition, the file as of January listed 7,819 suspected abusers and 12,254 victims. Until last spring, the organization had insisted it never knowingly allowed a predator to work with the youths, but in May, the Associated Press reported that attorneys for abuse victims had identified multiple cases in which known predators were allowed to return to leadership posts. The next day, the Boy Scouts chief executive Mike Serbaugh wrote to a congressional committee acknowledging the group's previous claim was untrue. So they're reeling from lawsuits right now, and they have filed for bankruptcy protection as it faces a barrage of sex abuse lawsuits. The organization could be forced to sell off some of its vast property holdings and raise money for a compensation fund that could surpass $1 billion. And if you're wondering how they have a lot of land holdings as far as camps and things like that, so that's what's happening. That's unfortunate. It doesn't, their whole whatever. They've been under fire for years, and it's very unfortunate. I was a Boy Scout way back when. I never completed to my Eagle Scout, which I have a great admiration for anyone who has that Eagle Scout designation. I just never did. Caitlin Bennett is trending. Now, I personally think Caitlin Bennett's a bit of a moron, even though she tries to be a right, conservative, whatever she thinks she is, but she's just dumb. But apparently at Ohio University yesterday, she was harassed and had things thrown at her and stuff, and there's video of it, and so there's a whole she's trending because everyone's talking about it, because there's people who hate her guts. There's people like me who think she's just stupid, and there's people who are defending, the behavior that was exerted against her, which I understand. I think that's a valid thing. Tim Pool, if you were wondering what a cult looks like, check out the Caitlin Bennett tweets right now, both sad and scary at the same time. These people are unhinged. Yeah, she got bullied off the Ohio U campus. And then, so here's the exact opposite here of someone saying, Caitlin Bennett goes around harassing people at their schools and at events, then wants to play victim when the same energy is reciprocated back. I have never seen Caitlin Bennett actually attack anybody, throw things at somebody. She's annoying as fuck, and I don't think she's smart, and she's trying to just get that viral vibe, but what they did yesterday probably was not cool. In fact, here is, let's see, I don't know if I'll see video of it. Posting this because some of my followers somehow love Caitlin Bennett. This is her organization. They are terrible, disgusting grifters who will say or do anything for attention. This is Liberty Hangout is her little site. Out of curiosity, do you believe the Holocaust happened as we have been told? Why would you even ask that question? Okay, so it's 50-50 out of 72 votes. What do you think? It doesn't seem possible that 6 million were killed. Well, there was over 10 million killed. That's just it. 6 million of them were Jews, but over 10 million killed in the purge of people that Hitler didn't like. But she's such fucking stupid. And then the other one here, make the Reich great again. Holy shit! What? That's just weird. I don't know if she intended to do that or someone else. I don't know what her point is there. She's not smart though. Jack Prosobiak, Twitter safety doesn't give one lick about users who harass conservative women. No one in the Caitlyn Bennett hate cult today will be suspended or locked out today, no matter how sick and violent their posts are. We just want to promote healthy conversations. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Twitter probably isn't doing their job here because there are people who have made threats. Let's see. I've actually had the unfortunate duty of working with Caitlyn Bennett on campus, and I can tell you that she and the rest of Liberty Hangout ilk are just as terrible in person as they are online. Now, that's fine if she wants to say that. But listen, some of these, I got to find the one in particular. Let's see. Leave Caitlyn Bennett alone. She's just a little... Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying she's just a little girl defending a grown woman who are fine with the president attacking Greta Thunberg, an actual little girl. No, I don't think anyone's saying that. Let me find the ones that are really just fucking... Well, here's this. This is the TikTok video that came out. So these were her attempts to go. And it went like. She was there with her bodyguard, but people were harassing her, yelling at her, screaming at her while she's trying interviews. You know what? She's just an annoying human being. It was the retardation of calling them the right. That is so stale. Where's the one that... There's one in particular that I wanted to... Oh my god. Caitlyn Bennett came to OU today. When I tried to ask her a question, she said she couldn't hear me. Someone shouted, "Can you not read? I am autistic and non-speaking. I use an iPad to communicate. Caitlyn is ableist." People do the toilet paper thing where apparently there's a picture of her passed out drunk where she pooped her pants, whatever. Here's the one that pissed me off though. On this Caitlyn Bennett situation, bullying is not okay no matter who you are. Unless you harass people daily, spread hateful messages, try not to invalidate the Holocaust, imply transgender people are predators, rude to victims and literal children. Bully the bitch. Yeah, I don't think that's cool either. But anyway, she's definitely a firebrand, but I don't know. Personally, I don't think she is good for the cause that she thinks she is. I think she's annoys people. Most people who do those types of interviews or goes up interviewing people at least get permission to do the interview. She does not. She just walks up to people and starts, asking them questions and in ways that are somewhat intrusive. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Caitlyn Bennett. Sorry. Yeah, one group gets physical. The group that anyone who gets physical, that is a problem. And so I here's where I will defend her. She doesn't need to be physically harassed. Okay. I don't think anyone, it's funny because the tolerance people who always accuse others of promoting violence are always the ones who are the most violent. I don't think there should be violence against her or anyone else who does that kind of shit. She just annoys the shit out of me. That's it. Anyway, moving on. MLB Nick Barkakis, Braves outfielder Nick Makakis. Nick Makakis. I don't like that name. That sounds like a name that Duck Dog would put in my super chats. Nick Makakis is going to the Houston Astros, so he goes to the cheating team. And if you're a baseball fan, Faulkner is trending. Let's see. Harris Faulkner. Is this because of Harris Faulkner? Oh, no. I can tell he's the asshole, and I only got as far as I have read Faulkner. Okay, this has to do something with... what are those? What was that hashtag before? Lose an argument in 3 words. Well, this is 4 words. What is this about? AITA for insisting my girlfriend should be in Slytherin. Oh my God. This is actually someone who actually wrote a whole thing on why their girlfriend should be in Slytherin versus Gryffindor. Got into this argument with my girlfriend the other day. We both agreed that I would be in Ravenclaw because they value intelligence, and I graduated college cum laude, and have read Faulkner, but we couldn't agree on what house she belongs to. She was adamant that she belongs to Gryffindor, and I just had to call her out on it. I told her she was only saying that because Harry was in Gryffindor, and that as a white girl whose dad is a lawyer and whose mother is a clinical psychologist, she's never had to overcome anything in her life. One of the tenets of the Gryffindor ethos is courage, and it doesn't take courage to drive around in that Audi that your dad bought you. So of course she gets mad at this, further proving my point. She asked me what house I would sort her into, and I tell her Slytherin. She responds exactly as a Slytherin would. She frowns, she turns red, and then tells me I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about, and that she's taken the quiz on Pottermore multiple times and is always sorted into Gryffindor. So why the fuck would I say she's a Slytherin? I value honesty in a relationship, so I basically told her that she comes from a rich 100% Irish family and that she tends to be a bitch when she doesn't get her way, like right now. She flips out. We start fighting. I probably should have told her that she was a Gryffindor, but I was heated, so I doubled down and said that even her sexual proclivities would point to Slytherin because she's a dom, which I love, but she still refused to see my point. She told me I was an asshole taking a discussion about fictional houses so seriously, but like I said, I value honesty, and I think the house a woman chooses for herself says a lot about how she views herself at the person she aspires to be. Okay, you know what's really the most amazing thing? And now people are talking about this big time, and apparently reading Faulkner is the funniest part about this. You know what's actually much more funny and puzzling to me? That this guy has a girlfriend. Anyway, moving on. Toni Morrison is trending. Toni Morrison, celebrating Toni Morrison legacy on what would have been her 89th birthday. The author and poet laureate. We die. That may be the meaning of life, but we do language. That may be the measure of our lives. Toni Morrison would have been 89 today. Her superb speech on the power of language delivered when she became the first black woman to win the Nobel Prize. So it would have been her 89th birthday today. That's pretty cool. Moving on, Aubrey Huff. Giants tell Aubrey Huff that he will not be invited back to the 2010 season. So if you're a baseball fan and an Aubrey Huff fan from the San Francisco Giants, he won't be a Giant next year. Tanny is trending, something in K-pop. I'll click this one just for Patrice. Apparently Tanny is somebody's dog. Even their K-pop dogs get love. Faith No More is trending. What? Why? This summer, Alanis Morissette, Liz Phair, Korn, and Faith No More are on tour. What year is it? Holy crap. I mean, Faith No More, was that like in, that had to be, like, that song, 89 maybe? 90, early 90s? What is it? So these are, okay, 10 a.m. this morning, these tours were simultaneously announced. Foo Fighters, Korn, and Faith No More together. Alter Bridge, Parkway Drive, Hatebreed, Primus. Hell yeah, All That Remains. It publishes, you're killing this. All right, well, if you're a, let's see, that would be mostly Gen X people would probably be into those groups. Maybe whatever that lost generation between Gen X and millennials might be into that. I don't know. 91, okay, could be. That sounds good to me. HBC, okay, banking giant HSBC may cut up to 35,000 jobs over 3 years. From 2016, Justice Department overruled recommendation to pursue charges against HSBC, according to report. They're going to cut 35,000 jobs, about 15% of its workforce over 3 years. So apparently they're having some losses. Okay, HSBC eyes $600 million in losses if coronavirus persists. Wow. Why the coronavirus is hurting them, I have no idea, but they're losing money and they're going to cut a bunch of jobs. I hope none of you work for HSBC. Cakes is trending. I don't know what that is. I'm hoping okay. Nicki Cakes. That's Markakis. Nick Markakis. I just don't like that name. Never mind. That's why he's trending. Twilight Wings. What is this? Twilight Wings. Key animation, Pokemon Twilight Wings 02. Something. Okay. I'm not familiar. Twilight Wings focuses on my girl, and they did her so much justice. Okay. It's either a game or a animation based on a game, Pokemon something. Moving on. Rosneft. What the hell is Rosneft? Let's find out. Today we sanctioned Russia-owned oil firm Rosneft Trading, cutting off Maduro's main lifeline to evade our sanctions on the Venezuelan oil sector. Those who prop up the corrupted regime and enable repression of the Venezuelan people will be held accountable. That's from Secretary Mike Pompeo. Shares of Rosneft tumbles as U.S. sanctions a trading unit of the Russian crude producer for maintaining ties with Venezuela's Nick Maduro and the state-owned oil company. That's interesting because National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien hinted a couple weeks ago that these sanctions were coming. Rosneft Trading is a subsidiary of a Russian oil company. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Putin's puppet, Donald Trump, probably had something to do with cutting off another Russian oil company from trading. Yes, we know that that is absolutely something Putin would want to hurt his hurt his oil companies. Anyway, so more proof that Putin is in charge. Okay. David Nangle is trending. Don't know who this is. Let's see. Breaking early this morning, Massachusetts State Representative David Nangle was arrested by the FBI and IRS CI special agents at his home in Lowell on dozens of charges, including allegations he illegally used campaign funds. Details to follow at 10:30 a.m. press conference. Let's see. State Representative Howie Carr, State Representative David Nangle, arrested on charges of using campaign funds to fuel alleged gambling at area casinos. He's a Democrat from Lowell, sits on the House Committee on Ethics. He's the State House, not the U.S. House of Representatives. But anyway, Boston special agents arrest State Representative David Nangle. He probably won't get a ton of press coverage because there is a D behind his name. And finally, but it's trending. That's pretty interesting that it's trending. I think Twitter will probably nip that in the bud too. Finally, Cincinnati head coach Ron Jans has resigned from the MLS soccer. If you know anything about MLS soccer, you are a better human being than I am. Let me do a quick hashtag check before we go. Let's see, which is I was supposed to do that before I did this, but PDK News. If you want to send me articles, you can do that at the PDK News hashtag on Twitter or via email, like Gunfox did today. By the way, thank you, Gunfox, for doing that today. I don't have any new ones. Thanks, though, Lindsay, Grill, and Pirate Pete. Now comes the pain. What? Teresa Chiera, and everyone who has been sending me articles over the last few weeks. And I'll try to remember to remind you about that. If someone will throw that in the chat, PDK News is the place, hashtag on Twitter, or you can send them to me via email, pdawgnight@gmail.com. All right, that's it for the show today, everybody. Quick. What else did I get? Oh, whoa. What'd I do there? No. That's not what I had to do. All right. Hey, I'm back. Thank you so much for being here today, everybody. I really appreciate all of you who show up on a regular basis, and some of you who come occasionally, too. You can come occasionally. You can work in the background. You can be in the chat. You can do whatever you want, but just make sure you're here. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. GMT, for those of you in other parts of the world. And if you'd be so kind, on your way out, make sure you hit the like button, that thumbs up, or dog, you know. And then the share button, too, especially. Share this out. I need 10 more followers, or 10 more subscribers to get to 600. So, I mean, you know, it's been growing. It's been growing steadily for ever since I started doing this show, and it's been a lot of fun. Also, if you would like to donate to the cause, you can do that through the Streamlabs link, which is at, well, you can go to my website, which is right here, PDawgnight.live. You can do that during the show or off hours. Anything you write as a comment in your memo is my super chat system. So make sure you, if you do that, you will be a permanent part of the show. I gotta go though. Thanks everybody for being here. My name is PDawg Night, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Oh, shit. No, I didn't do it. Here, let me try that again. My name is PDawg Night, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawg Night, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Night, and I'm out of here.